but she said, trust me, these are the stories we will tell. As I stood frozen, infinite, I almost fell, but I got a feeling and my heart starts beating, a sudden rush of feeling alive. This is freedom and I won't change, I won't phase out. I know
Hello everyone. Welcome in. Hope you all have had a great Wednesday. Welcome to the stream. Back in the hardcore world. Back to some mining. It's too much fun. It's too much fun. So, let's get rolling. I think I got the day counter rolling. I do got a day counter rolling. 3,219 days down. I haven't checked if we can update to the next version yet. Hopefully soon. We'll see. Who knows? I'll turn that off. That was from Sunday. But like I said, hopefully everyone is doing well. I am doing pretty well. Last stream, if I remember correctly, we were over here. I put in this beacon. Much clearer over here now. I'm gonna head up here. Let's get some more rockets and let's get rolling. Like I said, we are continuing the dig today. I think some of this stuff I may need to clear out soonish. So we don't mainly dig for a little bit. And then have to go empty some of these shulker boxes probably. So, all right. The question is going to be, where do I start with? All right, I could go over here. I feel like that's too far away from the beacons. I like the idea of being over here. I think last time I was right here. They're going to do that again. Killing some magma cubes. But yes, I hope everyone is doing well. I've had a great day. Pretty relaxed. Probably the biggest, I'd say, piece of news, is not really news though. Is that part of the reason I'm relaxed is that I get to work from home now. Pretty much full time. They took my desk away at work for someone who was going to be using it 5 days a week. So I am now deskless, which means I just stay at home now. So I get to stay at home in my natural habitat, stare at my giant, I think it's like a 40, not 40, like a 34-inch monitor. It's pretty big. That I had on my desk at work and I was allowed to take with me. So it's obviously still their monitor, but I get to use it. obviously while I work for the company. So if I ever leave, I'll have to give it back. But got a big old monitor, got a couple monitors actually, and get to kind of relax at home, which is good and bad. Means I get, you know, accesses to all the home conveniences 24/7 now. At the same time, it means that I don't really leave. Not anymore. So like I said, it's both good and bad. Just depends on how you look at it. So that's where I've been. That's what I've been doing. And we are digging here today. Trying to decide what I wanted to do. In particular for this dig, where I wanted to start. Because you start digging out too big of an area like this, and you run into potential issues with magma cubes spawning. But I think for now it's okay. Yeah, it's correct. Honestly though, I might just do this. Yeah. So we don't risk something spawning there. But do that, I guess. I do, you know what, let's just fill this in. I think that's the better response there. Oh! No, thank you. So, just gonna be chilling, hanging out. I'm apparently losing health. Chilling, hanging out, doing some digging, making some progress. This is where the real work gets done. In Worlds is the day-to-day, the stream-to-stream continuous effort that you put into it. You don't notice it, but eventually you do notice the hard work. So it can just be monotonous for a lot of people, right? That's why people will start Worlds and go beat the Ender Dragon and then don't go do anything else. There's a lot more time and effort and energy that has to go into, you know, making the world the way you want it to be. Also includes vision. You know, you gotta have a vision for where you want things to go, and that's difficult. And vision doesn't come all at once. Comes over time, generally. As you think of projects, you start making them, you start working on them. You don't have to keep working on that project the whole time. You can stop working on the project for periods of time. Etho's great at doing that. That's what he's known for, starting projects and not finishing them, right? But he does finish quite a few projects. It's just he starts a lot of projects because he gets bored easily. So in his case, it's a little bit easier for him to stay interested in a world, just because it's his job, basically. Most people don't have that. They have other things going on in their lives, so it's not necessarily good for them to. I feel like that was an egg or something I just heard. It's a little weird. It's not necessarily good for people to just continue to do the same thing in the same world over and over and over again. Because then you're just kind of doing it for the sake of doing it, and you're not enjoying it. And if you're playing a game like this, you better enjoy what you're doing. Because this is your free time, right? So. There we go. Alright. Blackstone. Bath salts. Go here. You. Got our potion on us, let's put that there. Netherrack. Okay. Back into the abyss. Oh, a bunch of stuff spawned here. That's lovely. I'm so excited about that. Go home. Don't need you here. Ow. Go. No, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Part of the reason I don't like to mine these big areas is because then a bunch of magma cubes spawn, but that was honestly not that bad. I could do that again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here. I want to see where we're at. How much space do we have? We can knock down. I want to knock down all of this area. Basically, when I flatten all this out within a specific area down to a level just to make it manageable to see everything, because part of the issue being back here is just seeing everything. What's the project? So in the middle here, we have with the skeleton farm that's like half complete, or like a sixth complete actually, with these wither roses. And so I want to make another perimeter around this with the skeleton farm. Basically, I could slap things up, you know, in this entire perimeter to ensure mobs don't spawn, but I think it'd be cooler to just get rid of everything. And instead of using like a world eater flying machine, slime block machine to do it, I wanted to do it by hand. So no skellies here. If we stay here long enough, we'll get batches of wither skeletons to actually spawn. But I've seen 2 or 3 spawn at once before here. I saw a skeleton spawn at some point too, so I might have to go heal the iron golem. But yeah, it's what we're working on. So it's hard to see with the fog. I believe it's this way. So we've been working on this area, tearing all this down. I want to go bedrock to bedrock. It's gonna be a lot of work, but over a long period of time. I'm saving the blaze spawner that's right here. This used to be a nether fortress. You can see where I went down to the lava level but didn't mine out the rest of it. So this area over here is, I'm trying to get everything down to lava level first, just to level set everything, and then we can go down or up. I don't know where you came from. So we've mined out this whole area up to there. You can see my border here, right? Where I've decided the chunk ends. Actually, I think the chunk technically ends here, but this, I was mining out this here as well. And the thought process behind this as well is, it'll be a big perimeter, but I do want to make a big design around the edges here. The walls will have designs. The floor will have a design. The ceiling will have, well, the ceiling may have a design. I don't really know yet, but water would be a pain with all the lava. Plus my world, it's yeah. I don't do any kind of duping in this world either. So one of the few things I don't do that other people tend to do in hardcore worlds, because this is hardcore as well, is I don't use totems either, which people in the hardcore sphere tend to find very interesting, right? Because all of the big hardcore worlds these days have an emphasis on always having a totem in their offhand, right? And that's fine. Like, it's how people play the game different ways. It's a very valid way of playing the game. It's just not something that I ever wanted to do. Never had any interest in it. So there's a couple of things that I do, I would say, that is not particularly normal Minecraft wise. So yeah, it's good and bad, right? I feel like I have to be a little more careful than most people who play hardcore do. So eventually I'm going to have to get a totem to satisfy the advancement, because there's an advancement for it. But I've contemplated also like making a raid farm where you can get totems pretty easily, and emeralds, but totems pretty easily, and then like having a sacrificial pit to throw all the totems into, which I thought would be funny. I haven't, but it's an idea. Always flowing with ideas. So Do not want to deal with that lava. No, thank you. Yeah, deal with this. There we go. My life a little bit easier. So, yeah, even this area here, I'm trying to get down to lava level, which is way down there. It's going to take a while. As we're streaming is nice, though. Because I could do a lot of this on my own. And I have done some of this. I say on my own, but, like, you put a TV show in the background, right? You get to digging. I've done some of that. Streaming, in general, is just kind of a dedicated time for me to do this, though, so... Instead of me, you know, randomly kind of doing it in my own, whatever free time I have, I can dedicate time to stream, show the progress, and get stuff done, so. It's one of the beauties of it. And then when you have a haste mining, right, when you have a haste 2 beacon, it's pretty easy to get lost in the sauce, I guess is the word, but really just lost in the mining. Grab that block. Three totems look good in my item frames. My world is survival as it was for the family. I'm the only one left. Yeah, if it's only, I say only, but if it's just regular survival, not hardcore or some other, you know, specialty game mode or anything like that, then totems aren't too useful. Then I mean, they're a fun mechanic, but they're extremely useful for hardcore players. If you accidentally fall and would have otherwise died in a normal survival world, you won't die, at least not immediately. You fall into lava, that's a whole other story. Totem's not really going to save you from that, unless you can get out of the lava. Almost had a wither kill me 3 weeks ago, a month ago now. I was fighting a wither for, well, I used it to get some wither roses. Then I had to actually fight the wither and kill it then, because wither roses are created whenever the wither explodes and it kills chickens, so. Actually, that might also be if a wither kills an animal with a shot, I think. Shot? With one of its attacks, so. There we go. Go. I understand the use in hardcore. The point of hardcore is die and lose all, so why cheat death? It just prolongs the experience more than anything. It is kind of a way, like, it is controversial in that respect, right? Where some people will say, well, if you have infinite totems, right? People make raid farms, you can basically get infinite totems. If you have infinite totems, how will you ever die, right? If the, not that I say the end goal, but the end result of hardcore is that the world ends when you die, why be so afraid of death? But in general, it's people like the difficulty that hardcore brings. and using the whatever items are at their disposal to prolong that difficulty for as long as possible. So that's what I found anyways. From people I've watched, people I know, and stuff like that, so. But here we go. It also kind of goes back to what's the point of totems in the game, right? They're a fun mechanic that sometimes people use and sometimes they don't. They're a fun way to cheat death. There's fun ways of using them, whether SMP or single player or whatever. There are fun ways of using them, but ooh, oh boy. At one point, you know, before raids, totems were extremely rare and extremely valuable as well. So when you got a totem, it was this kind of rare commodity that you wanted to save for a special occasion, right? Now with raid farms, you can pretty easily get totems. Right. This was back when woodland mansions were the only way you could get totems. There was no such thing. This is before the 1.14, the villager update. Village and pillage. That's when totems were at their rarest. It is interesting to see how the game has evolved over time. No, I'm coming up here. I wanted to stay down here. There are some parts of the game that I'm okay with having gone away, and there's some parts of the game that I kind of wish would return. You know, it was OP, so I kind of get it, but there was a time, of course, where you could put mending and infinity on the same bow. I had maybe that was 1.11 or something. No, maybe it had to have been later. No, maybe it was 1.11 is when that changed. And that was really nice. But at the same time, it was really nice to have it, but I also get why it was OP. So I remember having a bow in that world where I had both mending and infinity on it, and I'm like, and like the world that I had before that change happened, I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to this forever. And then I ended up starting a new world like 3 months later or something. Still have those bows, nice. I think the same thing happened with armor or something as well. Armor used to be a lot better. I'm trying to remember. There was some change. I think it was like 1.14 maybe. Gravy Speed, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Hopefully you're doing well today. Followed you a couple years ago since this fall season. I put your streams back on and really enjoy it. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying the streams in the background. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate it. I don't do that as much anymore, but I used to put streams on in the background quite a bit. I can think of a few names early on. If I have something going on in the background, I tend to. It usually means that I need to focus on something, and so it can be a little distracting. So a lot of times I don't do that anymore. I just put music on. It was nice whenever I was in college to be able to put streams on in the background, because I didn't have to like focus 24/7. What I say 24/7? I didn't have to focus as much sometimes on the things that I was doing. I just need to get stuff done. I guess I could probably start to do that now. I was mentioning at the start of the stream where a lot of times, you know, I work 8, 9, 10 hours a day, you know, mostly 9-hour days actually. And so I was mentioning at the start of the stream that I don't have a desk anymore at my work because I'm pretty much... They needed it for somebody else who's going to be in more. I only went in like a couple days a week max. And so they took my desk away. And one of those things, when you're in an office, you know, unless you have headphones on, you're probably not putting a stream on. Some people do, but I generally didn't. But at home it might be good. I've started to use speaker, Bluetooth speaker, and have music going. So is YouTube down right now? Been a while since that happened then. You're not able to get to any any channels. In that case, enjoy Twitch. It's nice. That is one of the nice things about having so many different social media platforms, even though it can get a bit hectic. With all the different things going on all the different channels. Is if one place goes down, you get content somewhere else to watch. So. I'm trying to figure out how far over I want to go before I stop. Or if I just want to just continue going and flatten everything out at this level. That's probably what I'll do. Basically what I was saying earlier. But my mind plays tricks on me and sometimes says, hey, do you really want to do that? I know you decided that thing, but like, do you really want to do that thing? Oh, come on. Oh, gas tier. I've been trying to gather gas tiers as I go because I need to make a second happy ghast, which requires a dried ghast, which unless you go out in the Nether and find it, and or maybe trade for it, I don't know, requires you to get gas tiers to craft a happy, or the craft a dried ghast, I should say. I don't know if I got that the first time. The first shulker box that I opened after over here, it's the perfect one that I needed. That was pretty good. There we go. Whoop. Whoop. Get out of here. Thank you. Thank you. You're gone. Okay, 2 layers down now, I think. I tend to do 2 layers at a time. I don't really know if that's the most efficient for speed mining like this, but it's what I'm the most comfortable with. Which is generally how I play the game. Occasionally I go outside of my comfort zone, but a lot of what I end up doing is, you know, what am I comfortable doing? And you get into certain habits, certain rhythms. Everybody has specific ways they like to play the game, so gotta be careful jumping over all this lava here. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Rude. Oh my gosh. So playing this in early beta, some of the stuff they're adding seems way off what Nos is building, like Happy Cast. Yeah, the direction of the game has changed. There was some quote I saw recently. I don't know if it was Jeb or somebody on the Mojang team said that basically if creepers got brought up in their meetings now, a creeper would never get added to the game. It doesn't fit their theme. It doesn't fit, you know, their vision for what the game should be, and you know, different things that they would add to the game now. It says a lot about the direction, right? It says a lot about that they have a theme, they have a set of priorities, maybe Notch did as well. You know, I get the feeling that Notch maybe didn't and just kind of built whatever he thought was best. But now they have, you know, a whole team, a bunch of teams of people, game designers and programmers and whatnot, who all pitch in on ideas and have a certain set of beliefs and thoughts as to where the game should go. So it's not just one or two people anymore. So it's kind of funny. I have in mind smallest creators, Superfly guy, one Bedrock guy, one beta player. I remembered you as Amplified guy and asked myself, what was his name? So I found your stream. Nice. Welcome back. Yeah, I have over the years become the Amplified guy, huh? And nowadays it's the hardcore Amplified side of things, right? I think I do occasionally go on YouTube in particular, and I go look and see what other Amplified creators, what other Amplified series there are. Very, very, very few, I would say. There are some out there, but I think it was what was the YouTuber's name? Like Dr. Donut or something? Had like a second channel where he does Amplified. Just, I think, regular Amplified survival, not hardcore like what I do. Nothing wrong with that, just a little bit of a delineation there. I think they're trying to build a kids game, not a game for everyone. They do certainly have, they seem anyways that they have the kid side of it in mind. They know that they have a lot of kids who play, so not just building the game. Whatever comes to mind that, you know, you wanted to build, you built it. So certainly a different mentality than knowing that you have millions upon millions upon millions of people playing. That's where I wonder about the mentality of certain content creators, right? Like if you have a content creator who's like a super small creator versus a content creator who's a much bigger creator, what you would hope that they'd have some of the same themes and some of the same parts, at least, of their mentality, even as a bigger creator. But there is some level of, when you get bigger, what you get exposed to is a little different, especially once people become like actual full-time creators. People start thinking about money a lot more. In part because they have to, in part because you get a little more abstracted from the roots of where you started and why you did things, because it's not quite about that anymore. So it's more about how I keep this thing going and get a paycheck sometimes for some of those folks than it is how do I make the best content. Sometimes it can overlap, but sometimes it doesn't. A hobby versus a job. It's probably the best way to think about it. I find that similar from Minecraft. It is more of a job than it is just somebody's pet project. For better or for worse. I'm sure that especially hit different once Microsoft took over, right? Because they're a big corporation. Mojang was just this indie game dev studio. Microsoft jumps in and says, "We want to make money," and you bring in people who think that way too. So. Ultra Boss, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well today. Go. Bada bing, bada boom. You're gone, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. I guess the whole like thinking of as a job versus hobby is the same for a lot of industries, right? I'd make different decisions if it was my job versus if it was a hobby. Because if it's a hobby, I'm doing whatever I think is best, no matter how long it takes. The job, there's a timeline, there's a budget, there's certain parts of it that you're a little more cognizant of, I think. Ooh, let's not die, thank you. Microsoft one of the player accounts to market too. True. Move people over to Bedrock and say, here's my marketplace. I can sell you stuff. Isn't that great? I do sometimes wonder if Microsoft, how much money Microsoft's made off of Minecraft. Like, have they recouped the original, what was it, like $2 billion investment yet? Because they don't make much off a Java edition, I'll tell you that. They might make they probably make a lot more off of Bedrock, right? Java edition, you buy the game once, you get updates for free. There's no marketplace, skins are free, texture packs are free, shaders are free, mods are free, everything's free. You can donate to people, you don't have to though. A lot of people don't. And even then, that doesn't go to Microsoft, that goes to the developers. Alright, so we're going to take these shulker boxes back. Those of you who may or may not have seen the updated, the updated overworld, you'll get a chance to see it now. I say updated, not a whole lot's changed. But in the last few years, things have definitely changed. So when I say things haven't changed, nothing's changed in the last month since I started really diving into this Nether project. I got a few overworld projects I do need to get done though. Reason I was thinking about that is I was flying past the portal to the end. Go. And there's a shulker box there waiting for me. With a whole bunch of materials there. So let's do that. Cool. There's Happy Gas, by the way, whose name is either Bert or Ernie. I'm trying to remember, because we want to get a second Happy Gas to have Bert and Ernie. Gotta have a little fun with it. I feel like I sound so old saying that. Mostly because I feel like I can hear my dad saying that. Like, oh no. Who have I become? We all inevitably become our parents. I'm not 60, but I'm not there yet. Maybe one day. I just turned 26 about 3 weeks ago, so not at all old. When I say certain things, I'm like, I sound it. Doesn't mean I am. Go one down. I'm doing all this by hand. I do have a shulker box unloader, but I have found that it is faster to just do it by hand right now. So eventually, Well, ideally, I would just throw it into the shulker box and load it, but right now it doesn't really matter. So there's my basalt. Do I keep running? I keep running past things, I bet. I think I ran past Blackstone one layer up. Yeah, there's basalt right here. Bath salt, bath salt, bath salt, bath salt. I know it's basalt, I just like saying bath salt. What's up, Em? Okay. And by the baby, she means a dog, not a real baby.
No, they're real.
Just to be clear. Hello, hello, Bailey. Are you sleepy? Oh, thank you. She licked my forehead.
Very not happy that you were-
Not happy? Well, you can go on your perch, and you can be happy to be in your perch. She's not gonna be happy up there, is she? Oh, good girl. Immediately lays down her bed. It's okay, I'm not like some streamers who will do certain things to keep their dog in the bed during the stream. Oh gosh. Twitch drama. There's a controversy for those who don't know. There's a controversy, not in Minecraft land, in like normal streamer land, around a streamer who's basically been accused of using a shock collar on their dog to keep their dog in their bed for the duration of their stream. So that was just a little cheeky reference to that. Need to add around 200 sorting spots. Need to add around 200, so I'm waiting on what will become the best item sorter. You mean between what's waiting for like an iron golem, gosh, copper golem, copper golem sorter. See what comes out of that. I made the sorting system way before. Years and years and years and years. I say years and years and years. It was probably like 4 years ago. Before any copper golem was being announced. So I don't even think the copper golem. Well, maybe the copper golem at that point had been like an option on the mob vote. If that's the one, but they only reach 10 chests each. I'm trying to remember. That is one question I had when I first saw it come out. I'm like, so how useful is this really gonna be? There are some item sorters out there. So part of it is people are using copper golems for I keep saying iron golems. For just general item sorting. Which is interesting. And there are ways of making copper golem item sorters where they puts the block in the correct chest, which then gets filtered out, I believe. So I watched I think it was a Red Nomster video about it. Red Nomsters used to be one of the, not big, but a decently well-known redstone YouTuber long time ago, and then he recently came back because they were talking about copper golems and stuff, and he saw it, got inspiration, made a video. He was doing something else. I forget what he was doing on his channel. He hadn't done Minecraft in a while. So yeah, we'll see what comes out of the copper golems. Who knows? Might be fun, might not be fun. Might be worth it, might not be worth it. Early game is probably gonna make things a little easier to get like an easy item sorter created. But a lot of things that Mojang adds to the game is it just makes the game easier. Elytras are easier travel, mending for easier repairing of tools. The observer for easier redstone. If only they made backpacks.
Hello.
Pyro Serenade, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Hopefully you're doing well today. Doo-ba-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Up here. Can we sleep this rain away? Or is it not nighttime? Nope, not nighttime. Alright. So we need to repair some things before we go. I got my extra tools. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got Wings of Glory, which I would like to repair. Wings of Glory are my elytra. Put these in here. So to repair, I typically go to my Enderman farm, so we'll head there now. Made this one a long time ago too. A lot of the farms I have, the most recent farm, actually speaking of farms, I do kind of want to go check on it because I haven't been in the overworld too much, and it's on the spawn chunk, so it shouldn't still be running. But so this is my spawn area here. I think I spawned right there in the world. Amplified world, of course, as you can tell by the terrain around here. This is generated 1.16. This is pre-caves and cliffs amplified. Down here is a build, my most recent build in the overworld, which is a chicken farm. My own design, technically. I combined some other different designs. Okay, eggs are fine. I have this on, I think I have this on egg mode right now. Yeah. Little door to get back to the redstone. There's just an impulse SV item sorter. Nothing game changing. Stuff that's been around for a long time, but just slowly oxidizing here. Why is this one not oxidizing? It's weird. So figured I would check on it. This one oxidized pretty quickly. Is it the, I don't know. Oh, you know what? When they oxidize, they don't emit light, do they? That'll be interesting. Unless they do emit light. We need honey. If I have to, I'll stick a... What I'm gonna do? Oh, I do have one down here. Okay. We should be fine then. I was gonna say I'll stick a torch down here. Just to make sure that this area stays lit up. But looks like I already did that, so... This I think will become them early game, end of life, end of Lyle. Massive non-stackable sorting, gotcha. Yeah, that's a major, you know, good use case for him. So, well, I think now we can. I bet we can go to sleep now. I really hate the rain in this game. I really hate the rain. Not fun. Not fun. I used to turn off the rain. Not like as a world setting, but I think it was Optifine that had an ability to basically turn off the weather on your screen. Maybe Sodium does too, and I just haven't seen it. But I use 5 or 6 mods in this world. So it's not like 100% like bare bones vanilla, but every mod that I use has a very specific purpose, and it's not game changing. So I use Sodium, for instance. I have Iris for shaders, Sodium's for optimization. Flashback, that's like just a content creator mod, basically replace replay mod. The replay mod's still a thing, it's another alternative. So got those 3. trying to think. There's one or two other ones. I have the continuity mod. I'm trying to remember what that was actually for, though. Uh-oh, went past it. It's not good. Let me go this way. There we go. It's hard to see in all this fog as well, but just... Oh, we were supposed to go to the end. It's like, I know I'm missing something. I got lost in my train of thought. We need to go to the end. It is helpful to have sodium, for sure. I don't know if I would have necessarily needed it. I have a powerful enough PC that I can handle things fairly well. What really comes handy is shaders. I don't think shaders would have been possible without kind of some of those optimizations. And it definitely helps with it, right? But I probably wouldn't be getting 400 FPS right now without sodium. But it could be like 200. I have a 3070. I think somewhere on here shows what graphics. Yeah, I have a 3070 Ti. Do I have a 3070 Ti? I guess I have a 3070 Ti. I didn't realize I did. And that's not the important part though. A 12-core AMD Ryzen 9 5900X CPU. So that's the most important thing for Minecraft. Very CPU intensive. So, but it definitely doesn't hurt. The thing that I think does hurt me right now, and it's something I need to consider upgrading, it shouldn't be that expensive, is I only use 16 gigs of RAM right now, as my computer only has 2 sticks of 8, I think, in it. It's either 464 or 268. 2 sticks of 8. I'm trying to remember which one. But I would like to get 32, which means either 2 sticks of 16 or 4 sticks of 8. Yeah, my enderman farm's still fun. Thankfully. My mob farm, when I updated the 1.21.8, did not. I had this a similar thing where I had to actually... I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was either lower or raise. I forget which one. I had to raise it by... I raised the platform by a block. Because all the mobs from my mob farm were dying on impact. So I raised it one and it was fine. We can actually go look at it probably in the overworld. We'll end up going through the ender portal and we'll see it. It looks a little weird right now, but I've been kind of working on what that project is supposed to be. So I have a general mob farm that I've had since basically the inception of this world, and I've always wanted to put like a hot air balloon around it. So that's my plan for that build. So I've been kind of working on it in creative a little bit, just testing some different ideas. I've never built a hot air balloon before. It was not going to be my best one probably, but question of mine: for a few days at the time of any update, which update feels like Minecraft is complete? I don't know if there is a time that we've had where Minecraft has felt quote unquote complete. Honestly. I think there's so many parts of the game that feel empty that it's going to be hard to feel like it's a complete game until all of those are filled, right? A lot of the biomes don't have enough in them for a lot of people. The end doesn't have enough for a lot of people. So that's why modded's so popular, right? You get a lot more stuff. I did the hard way, lower the spawning platform, and then added the leaves around it for pack spawning. Gotcha. Oh yeah, lower the whole platform. Oh man. Yeah, thankfully, like, that would be the easier way probably for me if I ever had an issue with this enderman farm, would be to lower it a level, because I have all of this area here, right? That I've built up all this stuff. There's no way I'm moving all of this up a block. But for my general mob farm, it was thankfully pretty easy to move the platform up one. Like the platform that they fall onto up one. So that was the easier path. But in general, it's just which one's easier for you, right? That's the true easier path. You have a whole build built around where they fall down. You don't want to raise that all up one, right? It's my thought, easy to do at the top, yeah. Again, it goes back to based on your design and the design you used, one, or the design you built, whichever it might be, whether you designed it or not. Which is the least amount of effort. I had to repair this enderman farm once, and I had to repair it, I don't know, a year or two ago when they changed the reach of mobs, because it's an endermite based enderman farm, and the way it was designed before, not my design, someone by the name of I'mGP, who I used to play on a server called Afterlife with, designed this, and I've used his tutorial a couple times now. Various enderman farms in various worlds. The way it was designed, endermen were able to reach the endermite and ended up killing the endermite. So I forget if I moved the endermite further away, or if I put some kind of barrier in front of it. I had to do something. So, all right, we are good. Except for the elytra, apparently, because I forgot about that. Actually pretty easy, though. Okay, speaking of levels, a comment I got one time, I think it was here on stream, was someone asked me why I only had 83 levels. But had been in the world over, you know, what is it, 3,000 days. That is why. Because if I go get levels, it's because I need it to repair things, not because I'm just getting levels. So that gets put onto tools, and it gets put onto armor, gets absorbed, rather than going into my little hot bar here, a little level bar. I get a few levels out of it here and there, but for the most part, it just goes to tools. So the mob farm I was talking about is over here. So you can tell here, the platform used to be here, like one down. I think it was at like this level. You can tell it's a little awkward right here. This is where it is now, though. I just raised it up a block. I may eventually just get rid of this platform here. Make this the platform. Put it at this level. So. You have 1,115 levels as of today. Nice. Which means either you haven't died in a while, like a long time, or you've AFK'd at some XP farms. Or both. Could be both. Okay. Cool. Alright, that's good enough. Let's go up here. Let's get ourselves some more rockets. What day are we on now? 3222. Can't wait for 3333. That'll be a magical day. About to be a palindrome in terms of days though. 3223. Right? 3223. Yep. 3 to the 2 to the 2 to the 3. I know I'll be think of it I named a pick today and it took 1 level. Think of the XP use for that. Yeah, the XP use for that 1 level is a lot more than if you just had 1 level. The amount of time to get that XP as well, I'm sure. Pretty insane. Just to get that 1 level. Alright. We're heading this way. So it should be right around the corner, right here. Boom. Down the hole. White fire in the hole. Alright. So we need to go this way. Honestly, I'm so close. Where I come down from the bedrock thing, I honestly probably could just build a path down here from there, but maybe I will at some point. What do you consider to be a super smelter? Because I've built like semi-automatic smelters, but oh, I never got rid of these, but it's fine. We'll just leave these in here then. Oh, not snowballs. We can leave these here. It's fine. Actually, the netherrack is probably fine. Like 50 silver furnaces all rail fed. Okay. Yeah, I probably haven't built one that big before. I have one in this world that's a semi-automatic. It is rail fed, right? Both the stuff being smelted and the fuel for it. But I still have to put stuff in a chest. There are some truly like super automatic, never have to touch it kind of smelters. You make a kelp farm and you attach the kelp farm to it. Those kinds of things I've never built before. Well, just because I never cared to. It's pretty easy to get by on what I have, so. Especially when you play by yourself in your own world. It's a little different when you play on servers or you have other people around because they need to use more resources too. There's a bunch of you that need stuff, not just one person. But once it's just you, there's only so many materials that you personally need. That's why I don't often build the most efficient farms. If I build the most efficient farms, I'll have way too much stuff. Now a super smelter of that magnitude might be helpful to me, but how much of that material am I really making, really smelting, right? Yeah, I can't remember if I've built an actual kelp farm or not. It is good for fuel. A lot of people have used it for fuel ever since it came out in what 1.13? That was that ocean update. Update aquatic. Whatever it was called. I usually remember updates by when I started Worlds. So I know that I started my very first single player world that wasn't hardcore, and I started at 1.8. I've only been playing since 1.7.2. Just I think I'm a level set there. 1.7.2 is when I started playing the game. Just after, that was the update with 1.7.2. What had like savannas and jungles, I think. Oh, that hurt. 1.8 got like diorite, andesite, and granite. what I remember from it anyways. That was the first update where I was like, oh my goodness, the walls and the caves aren't all gray. There's other stuff here. Other than ores, of course. Right, ores, or at least partially gray. So 1.8 is when I started that world. My next world after that, I started in 1.11. I remember that because that was the first YouTube series I had that really blew up. Blew up, you know, for a small creator. It wasn't like he got hundreds of thousands of views, but first series I ever had that started getting like 100 views a day on one video, which was definitely crazy at the time for me. Still would be crazy now. So I started that world on 1.11, which was an amplified world. Started the world in 1.13, that was an amplified world, and that's where I started in a jungle. And then I think both of my hardcore amplified worlds have been in 1.16. So. Yeah, because that would have been the Nether update. Sounds right. The pigeon poop update. Oh man, what a great update. It gave us the greatest block in history. Diorite. I used to really love diorite. I mean, I do still, like, I'm fine with diorite. I jokingly call it one of my favorite blocks. I don't really use a whole lot of diorite. But it can be used well. Similar with birch. People really hate birch. I think the birch logs aren't great. I think the birch wood itself is actually pretty good. Because I use a lot of birch. As you would have seen earlier with the overworld, I use a lot of birch. As it uses, but I don't use it a ton. I used to use it in a lot of pathways. Diorite, anyways. I used to use it in a lot of pathways. And birch I use in builds. Like house builds and things like that. For me, building less efficient farms is key to have fun playing the game. Playing on beta B1.7.3, and I have manual cactus farm with piston moving blocks to break cactus. Wow, cool. What I've learned, especially in more recent years, is that the fun part about it is understanding the mechanics of it, right? So if you're making something a little less efficient, but you're understanding what you're doing and why you're doing it a lot better, then that to me makes it more fun. I mentioned it before on the stream, but one of the farms that gained the most traction on my YouTube channel was a farm, one of the only farms I've ever built that I personally completely designed. I'm not that great at game mechanics, redstone, whatnot, so I usually leave that up to other people who are smarter than me and end up using their designs. But this is a case where I decided for an ocean monument, like, hey, I want to build a guardian farm, and I want to know how to do it. It's not very efficient, but it works, and that's probably the top comment I get about it is, sure, it's not super efficient, but it's different, it's unique, it's something that we haven't seen before. Because I wasn't trying to make an efficient farm for the sake of efficiency, right? I was trying to make a farm that fit into the build that I was trying to make in this world. And I think I accomplished that task pretty well. Even if the farm itself is not at all efficient. Bet you I'm gonna regret doing this, but We all make mistakes. Isn't it a mistake though? Days where the leaves took forever to despawn. Yeah, Logic builds pretty unique farms. And they're usually relatively simple, and he's able to explain the mechanics pretty well too, so. He's not trying to, you know, make the most efficient farm possible, but he is trying to make a farm that is relatively efficient that people can understand. I have several of his farms in this world. From his simple farms, simple tutorials, something like that. The villager breeder that I have was the Logical Geek Boy design. The iron farm I have was designed by him. So right above lava, or are we just okay? All right then. We are above lava, but we're not like floating above lava. Not all of it. Yikes. Yeah, logic's great. We can take a break whenever and go look at the Guardian farm. If you want to see it, I can go to Overworld. Won't take that long. Once I filled out my inventory, we can go do it. Again, it's not like a super efficient design. It would be more efficient if I AFK'd. But because I don't AFK in this world, that's one of the rules, I guess, that I have. The reason I don't AFK is because it inflates the day count, and to me the day count is pretty important. Like if I'm, you see it on screen, right, and I track it, you know. If I'm gonna be displaying the day count, I want to make sure that that day count is an accurate reflection of what I've actually done in this world, and the time and effort, and that whatever time and effort I'm putting into this world that's affecting the day count is something that is me doing something. Iron farm I have is my own, but it drops into the old saucer type farm you have to make with the 12 villagers. Oh, and 100 doors. I see. My farm is built in spawn, always run about 4 golems per minute. Good enough for me. Yep, exactly. Whatever's good enough. Doesn't have to be the best farm in the world, just has to be good enough for whatever your use case is. Absolutely. So yeah, we'll go to Overworld real quick. Won't take me very long. Won't take me very long to get there. I will say we can stay there however long we want. Oh. Always get a little nervous flying around. I used to put an iron farm in spawn. You guys have seen mine where it's just kind of floating. It floats right above my crop fields, my spawn-ish area. But it's not in the spawn chunks. My very first single player world, I put an iron farm in the spawn chunks. It was fine. Well, that one wasn't a super efficient farm either. Because again, I didn't need it to be. Obviously, that was like pre 1.11, so whole different time. But all right, here's the Ocean Monument portal. For reference, over there are the where we were looking at, in my trident portal, by the way, where we were looking at, there's a spawn area. So that's the mountain. That's where the storage room's at. Here's the ocean monument. So I dug out this area. Got some floating islands here. Dug out this area. I left the ocean monument itself intact. So this was done. This build in particular was done in 1.16. So what you'll see, jump down here. What you'll see, kind of, you can barely make it out. You all might not be able to really make it out. That is not bedrock down there. That is all deep slate. It originally was bedrock when I built this, but then the height levels changed in the world. So ocean monument build here. Just slimes over stream redemptions a while ago. I put a bunch of grass here, put some hidden lighting. I covered the entire bottom here. Took me a while. Apparently a llama here. So the most important thing up in here is the farm, but essentially this little chute here goes down to the storage and the kill chamber. I say kill chamber, you don't manually kill them. They just fall to their death. You can see the guardian's kind of falling right now. We'll go inside. This is the drop chamber where they eventually fall and die. But we walk in here. So this is the inside of the ocean monument, and the ocean monument doubles as two things. It's a guardian farm, but it's also where I put my, I do on YouTube, I do a comment of the video, basically. And I store those here. That's what these barrels are on the sides here. See all the people's names. At least the names of when they commented, and then the comments are in here. This is the most recent one. I don't think I used soul campfires. I think they just fall and die. They just die to fall damage. But essentially the way this works is we have, I cleared all, of course, all the ocean area around here. There's 6 spawning areas here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It is the same colors as a platypus. So we have 6 spawning chambers. Each of them have bubble columns. The guardians spawn, they move up, they move across, they move down. They fall to their deaths. That's it. There's no XP farm. It's just for the drops themselves. I'm sure I could make it into an XP farm if I raised the kill chamber. Made sure that they didn't die on impact. But I never cared to. So, particularly because in this world, I only need 1 XP farm. That's efficient. And I've got my Enderman farm. And I use my Enderman farm all the time because I always need Ender Pearls. So, I always need to go there anyways. So, I use that as my XP farm. I used to have a gold farm that kind of worked. That was an XP farm as well. That one broke in more recent updates. Yeah, they have thorns as well, which isn't fun. But, like I said, 6 spawning chambers, bubble columns, push them up. There's water streams at the top here that push them across, push them this way. If I were to AFK way up in the sky, this would be more efficient. But so here, drop down. You can kind of see it, but up there is where they fall to their deaths. So we stay in here long enough. Again, like I said, this is not very efficient, but you just saw one die right there, right? Eventually they filter into here. We get all the prismarine shards, we get the prismarine crystals, we get raw cod. So these are the 3 drops we get. I believe. You can see back here, I can't access it. What is this? Ink sacks, prismarine blocks, prismarine stone. It must just be like a miscellaneous chest. You know what? This could have been something that fell into the. There's an impulse SV item sorter back here. Could have fallen into that, and might just be an output chest here, like all the stuff that didn't get sorted. trying to remember, it's been a while. But pretty simple, right? They fall down, they die. They drop stuff. Stuff goes in here. So. Does the job. See one getting stuck right there. Trying to swim back. Eventually they give up and they fall. But it does take a little bit. And they get stuck on the sides, and then they eventually fall down. So, yeah. I think my favorite part of this build, though, is the Trident Portal. It looks really cool. At least I think it looks really cool. From a distance, this is a really cool looking build. Actually, let's go stand over here. Get the best view, I think, over here. Or a pretty decent view. So. This is my dirt hut. I built this on stream one time. I think someone was like, just build a dirt hut, so I built a dirt hut. Not a bad dirt hut, too. It's got little windows. See the little fences here for the windows? It's not bad. Got grass on it. Fun stuff. Of course, back here we have this monstrosity that is, well, the product of amplified terrain. So you get all these little overhangs and then Endermen spawn and they destroy your landscape. Just how it works. So. Farming village, crops, the Logic's villager breeder over here, like I mentioned before. Logic's iron farm, which I mentioned before, which still works. It's incredible. I get so much iron. I think I'm like overflowing with iron at this point. I've gone through this a bunch of times and turned all these into stacks of iron blocks, and it's a lot. So. This is the bulk of my builds here, though. The stuff you've already seen between the mob farm, Enderman farm, storage, ocean monument, farms, village, oh, the villager trading hall here. If you couldn't tell, this is a villager trading hall. built into the side of some overhangs here. This is pretty much, I made a few alterations, but this overhang was pretty much already here. I think that I may have extended down a little bit and took it all the way down to the water, maybe. But everything else was already here. I just had to build into it. Yeah, I don't have any data packs. I've considered it at times, but that almost felt like something that was not vanilla, not close enough to vanilla. This is my zombie purifier, by the way. Zombie purifier. My zombie villager purifier. I use this to get the one emerald trades. So got some carts in there. Got villagers here that I never did anything with. I've shut off the villager breeder, I think, now. I don't believe. Yeah. There's a lever here. You can turn it on or off. They can't see the beds, so they don't know to breed. So. Yeah. That's spawn. Majority of what I do. This stuff here, this giant nether portal, and then this staircase is one of the more recent additions. This is my, I do New Year's resolutions / goals every year. Let's see, how many of my goals this year have I met? I met one. The stream 52 times I may not hit, but I'm gonna get really close. I've done one tutorial. Feel pretty good about that. Not gonna hit any of these. Not gonna hit that. Probably not gonna hit that. I'll get close. Might get close. And this leads to a bridge here, which again is another newer addition, which then leads to this little short bubble column water elevator, which then leads to whatever this is going to be, which I don't know yet. My original idea for this area was to bridge to everything, right? So I still fly with Elytra. That was designed for Elytra, but coming out of the Nether portal, I don't want to have to go anywhere with Elytra if I can help it. So my bridge to there, my bridge to there. What I should really do is find a way, actually probably from here or from there, to get down to that area would be good. But ultimate goal is that I don't have to fly anywhere, though I typically do, which is fine. No issues with Elytra. Some people hate Elytra. I have no issues with Elytra. It's just a mode of transportation. So I have a task list. I have a to-do list that I don't really look at, but I have, well, I got a happy guest already. Put villagers in the village, you know? Uh-oh. Don't print screen. This is the next big project, Castle at Spawn. I've already started designing it. I need to do that, probably. I've talked about this. This is the hot air balloon design that I thought of. But yeah, I do have this book that just kind of sits in my under chest. Anytime I can think of... Yeah, it's not done yet. Anytime I can think of projects, I put them in here. I haven't updated this in a bit, because this is done. I don't have goats yet. Wither Rose Farm, I haven't really built. I kinda have. Oh, that's one thing I didn't show off. Kill statue, bridges from main island to spawn chunks. This is the bridges I was talking about. Every once in a while, I'll put new stuff in here. There's that. So it just kind of sits in my inner chest. No, I don't do like smaller goals. I usually just have bigger projects. I have a bigger projects on like a to-do list board that gives me episode ideas or stream ideas. The thing I didn't show off is one of the fun parts about this spawn. So we got spawned there into a forest, which was amazing. We had this ocean monument right here, and then right over here we had a witch hut. Or right here, bang, bang, bang. I started to, a few years ago, tear down, I made a perimeter, witch farm perimeter. Some would have the wither skeleton perimeter, and I started tearing this down. 2 perimeters going on at once, not a good idea. And in particular, I thought that the, goes up there, I think. I thought that with the skeleton perimeter would be more beneficial than the witch farm. So I put this one on pause. I could build a witch farm probably without a perimeter. I just haven't done it. But I did do all this, thankfully. So I've marked out the area here. I could just chop down all the trees if I wanted to. Easy peasy. So this will be a project at some point. I'm kind of leaving it for when I feel like I have the time to do it and or have the motivation. A lot of this world, I end up just doing things based off of motivation. Right? I've been working in the Nether for a month because I have the motivation to work in the Nether for a month. But eventually I may get bored of that and I'll go do something else. I kind of, especially with a world like this, I was mentioning it towards the beginning of the stream, but when you're not a full-time content creator, you don't do this for a living. You really do have to go where the motivation takes you. Otherwise it becomes not fun. So I typically will have several different projects that I could be working on going on at once, and I just eventually finish them. Takes me a little bit longer, generally. But it's fun. I like it. So gotta do what's fun for you. In my opinion. You've never found a witch hut? Interesting. This was, I think I found witch huts before in previous worlds, but this was the first one I found that was like close. You know, like, oh, there we go. That was my alarm for my dog. This is the first time I found one that was that close to spawn. So that's why I put it on my list of things to do, because it's like if it's something that's way far out. I went through this portal, shouldn't have done that. I do this way too many times when I'm not thinking, which also happens a lot. There we go. The skeletons, yay, nay? Nope, okay. Big ol' spike right there. Now we are back to doing mining. So, like I said, eventually I think with this project I will get a little bored and I'll go do something else. It's just the nature of how I operate. But for now, we're working on it. We're chipping away at it. Probably fairly soon I will transition to another project, at least for a little bit. I haven't made a YouTube video in a while, and it's because I've been working on this. This isn't really good YouTube content. The end product is good YouTube content, but the process itself isn't. I do want to be working on something for YouTube sooner rather than later, so I will probably not transition away from this entirely, but spend some time working on something that is more YouTube friendly at some point. The castle build is something that I mentioned earlier. I've had planned in this world for a very, very long time, like pretty much since the inception of the world. It feels like I have it laid out in the overworld. I just haven't built it. I put a rough frame in, and I never like actually did any kind of design work for it to try to build anything more than a rough frame. So that's where I'll be going next. YDK London, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Hopefully you're doing well today. You're just planting massive wheat fields. Yeah, it sounds about right. Sounds about right for me. Now that was probably Afterlife. That was probably Afterlife SMP, unless you're saying like years ago. But more recently, that would have been the SMP I used to play on. Because I had a big dig. Always have a big dig going on. I had a big dig project on that world with a floating island that had a castle on top of it. Hey, YDK London. Howdy, howdy. Been here quiet, in and out quietly since 2020. Cool, I appreciate you stopping in whenever you have time. Hopefully good background noise. Always chill. Yeah, I do try to keep it pretty low key. Actually, especially these Wednesday streams, and then the. Oh my goodness. Hey Jeff, thanks for that raid. How was your stream? Good to see ya. Have you been? Goof raid. The goofs. On the viewer server. Sweet, sweet. Just chilling. Were you looking at people's builds? Or were you doing something of your own? Give you a shout out as well. If you guys aren't following Jeff, make sure you do. Fantastic streamer. Fantastic person right there. Known each other for a long time now. I'm a professional. I don't know if I'm a professional in anything I do now. Oh, thank you.
Hello.
There we go. You know why? Because I'm so used to typing in the raid command. Very professional here, Jeff. Very professional. Yeah, glad to know that the stream went well. Thanks for bringing your peeps here. I appreciate it. So, those of you who don't know me, my name is Whitefire. I do a lot of the survival Minecrafts here in particular in my hardcore amplified single player survival world for 3,000 days now. Thanks for the follows, y'all. I really appreciate it. Very much do appreciate it. Hopefully you all enjoyed Jeff's stream. I'm sure you did. So, we're pretty chill here. So, feel free to sit back, relax, hang out. Chat if you want to, don't chat if you don't want to. Of course, man. I appreciate the raid. Current project though that we're working on, I'm over here in the Nether, and we are working on a big Nether perimeter here. So I've got a wither skeleton farm in the middle that I've made some modification to, but I've used off and on for quite some time now, and we are slowly chipping away at a bigger perimeter around it. I could slab things to make things a little easier, but I've decided I want to make a big old build, so that's what we've been working on. Let's do that. Hey, Breezy. Yes, that is correct. How you doing today, Breezy? And then Jeff was very distracted today. Didn't get anything done. Fair enough. You know, streamer brain's real thing. As well. I'm gonna go do all these different things, so sometimes you know, go do where the stream takes you, and sometimes you're also just interested in certain things. So be lurking? Alrighty, appreciate it. Just got home, fair enough. Appreciate the lurk. Alright, how are you? How's Emma and Bailey? Good. I don't know where Emma is right now. Bailey's in her bed sleeping. She's tired of me today. I had to put her in her crate several times today to get her to calm down, unfortunately. So We don't use it as a punishment. I don't like using the crate as a punishment. But it's generally just if we're in a position where we need to calm down, we'll have her go there. So my dog Bailey likes to stare out the front window and yell at all the dogs that come down the street. And her yell, if you haven't heard it on stream before, is very high pitched and ear splitting. So there are times where, and she will get very hyper focused on dogs and not be able to kind of move away from it, move away from the window, not yell at the dogs, that kind of thing. So we got to do things to get her to not do that. How's the new job going for Emma? Good. She made a couple remarks this week about she would come home from work and be like, man, I want to work more. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. It's good from the perspective of like, well, at least you enjoy your work, but you know, you also don't want to be working and burn out. So don't overwork, I should say. So Bailey is the most adorable, yes. That's why she gets away with it though, you know? I think we first crossed paths in Slim Stream. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I remember seeing your name there. I used to watch, for those who don't know, there's a streamer named Slind. I think I'm still in the Slinkies too, the Twitch team. That was Slind's Twitch team. He was known for massive, long-lasting single-player worlds. Vanilla single-player worlds. Great storylines. Amazing builds. I started watching Slind in 2014. Oh, Breezy had a 5 stream streak. Let's go. Amazing. Appreciate that. Get those pizza rolls. I started watching Slind in 2014 by chance, and it's funny you bring up Slind because I brought up Slind quite a few times on the stream, I think, because he was the reason I started streaming. So summer of 2014, before I was making content. So, but was an inspiration. I gush over Etho all the time here, right, from the YouTube side of things, but Slind was a similar inspiration for me on the Twitch side of things. The way I do things, and I still say 360 no scope into the bed, good night world. So not as often as I used to, and I used to say that a lot more, but yeah, I was sub for quite a while too. It wasn't 60 months, but it was a few years, I believe. Always loved Slind's emotes. It's one of the major reasons I subbed. They had great emotes. And it's someone I watched quite a bit, so. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everyone stopped streaming for different reasons. I know I started watching Sling kind of in like when he was up and coming in some of the prime years where he was getting hundreds of viewers and was doing well enough to support the things he needed to support monetarily. And you know, every content creator kind of has that cycle. Some can get it back, but it's difficult. If you fall out of favor with an algorithm or with whatever it is that you're doing, people get bored of it. There's a new trend that comes around and people want to hop on that. If you don't hop on that, then you're not trendy, and people are gonna stop watching you. And so there's a life cycle of content creators. I feel like I was watching like Hank Green talk about it or something. Maybe it was somebody else. Where every creator has their popular time, right? I think Slint had his for a good number of years, but it does get to a point where, you know, people stop supporting you as much monetarily, and especially back then on Twitch, right? Like most money came from donations, subs, things like that. I mean, it still does, but eventually you have to make a decision. You're gonna do it just for your own hobby's sake, or it's key to try to do it full time. And I think Slint, right? He went and got a regular job, if you will. I was gonna say normal job. I don't know if there's such thing as a normal job. There's a 9-to-5 job. There's a shift job, hourly job, but I don't know if there's any such thing as a normal job. What is normal, right? So I'm certainly not normal, I can tell you that. If there is such thing as normal, it's definitely not me. So and I've had a lot. I've talked about it quite a bit on the stream here, but I've had a lot of content creation friends come and go. YouTube, Twitch. I've had people just literally disappear. One day they were there, and the next day they were just gone. Come back a few years later. Oh, I'm still alive, but I'm doing this thing. And then some people that said that there were some people who came back during COVID, right? 2020. And by came back, I mean they just like said something. Some people actually did like come back, like start making content again. Others did not. A lot of people did not, to be honest. But other than that, like there've been content creators who did fairly well. For smaller content creators, though, so, there's a certain life cycle to it, and a lot of smaller content creators that I knew when I was first starting out were people who were my age. You know, I was in high school when I started, so I'm seeing it now with I follow Rocket League esports, and the thing about Rocket League esports, and esports in general, is that the player base of the professionals, quote unquote professionals, is very young, like middle school, high school age. So you'll see a lot of people, their careers start when they're like 13 or 14, and they end at 18 when they go to college. If they're not like one of the top dogs. You see that with content creators too, right? Where a lot of people I started with were same age as me when I started. And then they went off to college, or they graduated college and they moved on with their lives. So it is the cycle. Always sad, of course, when it happens, but I've also come to expect it. Not everybody's gonna be like me and be here forever. Not that I'm gonna be here forever, but I have tried quitting content and I can't do it. I did it when I went from high school to college. I quit making content. Cause I'm like, I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna be social. And then I got to college and I wasn't social. It took me a few years to kind of find my groove, I would say, and find people that I wanted to hang out with more than anything. Because, like you guys know, this the big thing you see, you know, whether it's movies or in real life, is that colleges, a lot of people are partying, right? Like, they go to class, yes, they do their work, but they also have a big social life, and that was not me. It was definitely not me. It was not for me either. So, yeah, Janzi's one. Janzi really did just disappear though. I guess it's similar to Slint in that regard. But he really did just disappear one day. Come across a young man who I was a mod in a decade ago. He started streaming after being gone for 8 or so years. Nice to hear from him again. There are quite a few people as well, like once they graduate college, right? I think college in particular, if they're young and then they start making content in high school or something or whatever, and then they quit while they go to college and then they come back. That's also a pretty popular trope too. Believe it or not. Just because there's so much changing in your life at that point. You don't know where you're gonna go, and then once you have, depending upon the kind of job, right? If you're an engineer like me, you may not be traveling much. You may have a pretty stable job, a stable income, whatever it might be, and so you're kind of settled into whatever your life is, and that's when you can really figure out whether or not you have the time to do it and the passion to do it. In college, everything's always changing. Feeling's very bad. Hey, what's happening? Why won't you let me out? I'll let you on a sec. I let Bailey out of the room because she was yelling at me. Just stopped for a year and a half due to a college course. And those things happen too, right? Sometimes people just have to stop for any number of reasons. Could be college, some people start families and that's why they stop. Sometimes momentarily, sometimes permanently. So I have always found, even when I do try to stop, that I find my way back somehow though. Because like I could be doing other things, sure, but like I don't know, I enjoy this. And in particular, yes, there's the aspect of it of talking to people and things like that, right? Where you're sharing what you're doing with people. That's part of it. But part of it for me is just like I really enjoy playing this game in particular. So I feel like no matter what, I'm going to be playing this game. Even if it's not like I'm streaming every day or spending all of my time on this, like having the ability a couple times a week to share what I'm doing with people, pretty nice. So that's ultimately why like I think I continue to come back. I don't think of the pizza roll breezy. I feel like I missed one earlier as well. Maybe that's 2 now. One day I'll hit 400. Man, I think you can run the command as many times as you want, right? Like, that's just giving pizza rolls to the whole stream. So, well, to me in particular, but it's not like an actual currency. It's tracked in that command, I believe. Go away, hippity hoppity, out of my life. Oh, you know, okay. Are you just trying to do it like once a stream? Or something like that. I don't know. love to tear a lot more of this down, but for now we can just do this, I think. Oh. Anyways, such is the cycle of content creation. As we were talking about earlier. The only constant is change. And I do very much enjoy, obviously, what I'm doing. Like I said, otherwise I wouldn't keep doing it. So. Eggs and follow, biggest baddest. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hopefully you're doing well today. Go. Just tearing through this right now. Oh my goodness. Go. Let's go. Alrighty. Appreciate the chatting today. Hope you have a good rest of your day or night or evening or whatever time it is for you. Appreciate the conversation. For those who don't know, I haven't mentioned it yet today, but I tend to go live Wednesdays and Sundays. So similar to Jeff, I go live twice a week. So typically Wednesdays around 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and then Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. I used to, and part of the reason the streams have historically been so chill is that I used to go live at like 9 a.m. on Sundays, which was a time, I'll tell you that. First thing I do when I wake up in the morning, turn on stream for years. It was pretty cool. But now I do 1 p.m. on Sundays, and well, it became a little too much to do in the mornings, to be honest. It was like the reason I stopped doing that. It wasn't fun anymore. To have to wake up and stream. So I switched to the 1 p.m. So I get up now and I do some things in the morning, and then I turn on stream. Oh boy. Big and scary is what these magma cubes are today. Go away, please. Please don't. I'm Eastern US time, so I forget if it's EDT or EST right now. I live in Maryland. It's on the east coast of the US. So. Yeah, we'll probably end up raiding today. I try to stick to Minecraft though. We'll have to see who's online. I mean, I don't know who I follow anyways who's online, so. I feel like when I end stream on Wednesdays now, I hop offline and there's like nobody on. But that could also just be me not seeing things. Oh, thank you, Magma Cube. I really appreciate it. All right. I think that's gonna wrap it up for today, folks. Made quite a bit of progress today. Pretty happy with it. If you're new around here, I'll throw some links in the chat, the socials, the Discord. Make sure to check them out. Specifically the Discord, if you want to not be updated through Twitch and want to get notification when I go live, Discord's probably the best place to be. I do post on Blue Sky and Twitter whenever, or Blue Sky and X, whenever I go live, but if you want an actual ping for it, Discord's the place to be. So I have a YouTube channel if you want to look up episodes of from this world, different videos that I post on it, as well as other videos I've made. Feel free to check those out. I don't really post to Instagram much anymore, but who knows? Maybe one day I'll get back to Instagram. I've got tons of different screenshots and whatnot to post. So anyways, let's find someone to raid. I've got 4 people I follow who are online. One's playing Rocket League. One's Oath, who's playing Slay the Princess. I had a couple others. Let's see. I don't know how long Luke's gonna be on. And some barn prep, it looks like. There's also Kim and Jax. Unless you have some suggestions, Breezy. Probably not Doolin. Prefer it to be. Well, what is Kim and Jax playing? Survival, I think. I think we'll do that. So. Yes, there we go. We raid Jeff back. No, we're doing a real raid this time. I appreciate it, Oak. I appreciate it. Let's. Nope, that ain't working. There we go. Let's head over there. So, all right, we'll go raid Kim and Jax today, I think. Appreciate the suggestion though, Breezy. But anyways, we've got our raid message. Hashtag fire raid if you want to use it. Any other emotes, if you have my emotes, feel free to use them. The raid heart hype kind of emotes if you want to. Otherwise, feel free to join in on the raid. For real this time. Thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate you all. I will see you all back here Sunday, hopefully. Take care, y'all.